Hi everyone. So during Hurricane Irma in 2017, my family did evacuate and we stayed in one of the local middle schools as a shelter. And we kind of realized that it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. So then when Hurricane Ian came around in 2022, we decided to stay home, which ended up being a lot worse of a hurricane, but our decision to stay home was based on our past experiences. So we have done a lot of prep over the years just to make sure that our house stays fully stocked with hurricane items, because we don't really like evacuating with our dogs. It gets hard, and keeping them in cages in the shelters, it was difficult. So we kind of just stick by our house during the hurricanes. So a lot of what we have are these little lanterns. We have these solar lanterns. We have a 2-story house, so when it gets dark, it gets really dark, and we don't have a lot of light that comes in when the hurricane shutters are up, so we bought these lights this one's not charged, that are pretty bright. They have a lot of different settings on them, and you can charge them either through the solar panel or with a cable. So we have those. We also have 2 more battery-powered solar lights that are out in our garage somewhere. We have a fire blanket in case of an emergency. We also have fire extinguishers, which I will show, but the fire blanket is, if you have a bigger fire and you can't use an extinguisher, or if the extinguisher is not available, you can take this right out. It just, it's under this Velcro. It just slips right out of the package. It's easy to throw over a fire. We keep a fire extinguisher mounted to the wall over here. This is by our coffee maker, and it's close to our kitchen. And then we also have 2 more fire extinguishers as backups in here, and we keep some extras in the garage. We also do keep distilled water in the house at all times. And when we are in the middle of a hurricane, we do keep these cases of bottled water, but we don't really use them any other times. They just stay here as hurricane water because we brush our teeth with them and things like that. This big battery is another thing that we always try to keep charged. You can either plug it into the wall, or it does have solar panels that attach to it. So during the last hurricane in 2022, when we had Hurricane Ian, we were attaching the solar panels to this and putting it outside, and we were charging the whole battery with the solar panels. And we actually used this battery to keep our fridge plugged in and running so that all of our food didn't go bad. So this battery has a lot of different uses, and it has been very helpful. We also have this drill that is battery powered and can be plugged into charge, that we usually always try to keep a battery charged for it, and we plug it in whenever we can so that in an emergency we would have a drill ready to go. It has come in handy a lot. And then we also keep some screws and just little maintenance things. We keep a small hammer in here, really just anything that we could use in an emergency to quickly fix something up. Another thing that I wanted to mention is we always have this portable dog water thing. You kind of just squeeze it and the water comes out of the top and it fills it up. And then as soon as you let it go, it does go back into the bottle. So this is really helpful with not having any water waste. And we usually bring this with us anywhere that we take the dogs so that they always have some water to drink. Something else that I wanted to mention that we always have propane and butane on hand. We do have a grill in our backyard that has gotten us through a lot of the hurricanes. We were grilling our meat to try to cook it and keep it from going bad, so we will always pick up extra propane and extra butane. We also have 2 or 3 different gas cans in our garage that we always keep filled up. We usually use those to fill up the gas in our lawnmower and our pressure washer, but we do keep them maintained and filled up. Something else that we do have, we have a whole set of cast iron cookware that we have used on our grill before. We have a solar light in our backyard that the sun charges it throughout the day, and then at night it turns on, and it's kind of like a bug zapper. So that was really helpful to have in our house when we were keeping the doors open a lot. To get that air circulation, we had that bug zapper that was kind of keeping the flies from getting around the house and everything. Something that we're also very familiar with is our shutter system. We have a wood frame house, and our windows are kind of in weird places, so my parents and I are all very familiar with our shutters. We know how to put them up and how to take them down, and we're in the process of replacing the 2x4s on the top and bottom of the windowsill so that we can put the hurricane shutters in a little easier and to make sure that they're strong, because over time the hurricanes have kind of put a little wear and tear on it. We also have a food saver, so when we know hurricane season is coming up, we will usually make lines in the food saver bags and seal them off to where we can fill them up and basically make our own ice cube trays out of these molded bags. So that way, if we want our dogs to be drinking the filtered water, we put them in our freezer, and that's drinkable water for us and for them. So we can just cut out a section of the ice cubes, put them in the dog bowls, and the dogs have something to drink. And all of the steps that we've taken to be prepared for the hurricane reminded me a lot of what we discussed in Deep Survival this week, how Callahan did the best that he could to be prepared and to have all of the training for using the raft and having his supplies and being able to access the bags, so that when he was in that situation, it was kind of, it was supposed to be easy for him to grab everything and get to safety, and it didn't quite work out for him. But I feel that my family has tried to do the same thing. We've practiced putting our shutters on. We know how to do it in peaceful times versus a hurricane situation. I think the last time we had one of the little hurricanes come through, we actually put them up in the rain. So we have experience doing it in safe conditions versus not safe. And we definitely have tried to kind of adopt the positive mental attitude, because we have been through a lot with the hurricanes. We had a house across the street burned down during Hurricane Ian, and the flooding in the streets kept our house from burning down. So we have definitely adopted the mentality of understanding that we're going to get through it together, and we know what we need to do if we needed to make an emergency evacuation. We know everything to grab. We can get it in the car and we can go. We also do have first aid kits in all of our cars and one under the sink in our house. So there are plenty of emergency kits. There are small things in each of our bathrooms as well. So we have tried to get as many things as we can, ready to go, and we just take things one day at a time.